Forget about it. Hello, my name is Dean Kartover, and this is The Current Buzz. Today we have Pamela Quinlan Hill. She's here, guess what? She's a travel agent. That's what we're going to talk about, traveling, because you guys want to travel too. She works for Escape for Everyone out of Billerica, Massachusetts. And thank you for coming on the show, Pam. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
How did you get involved? Well, first of all, I want to say, if you're traveling out of the country, you need a passport. There's a passport right here, okay? This is a passport. Now look in your passport, go into your paperwork, and see if the passport expired, I'm sorry. If it's expired, look at the date. You have to get a new passport before you travel. They will not put you on a plane if your passport expires. Is that correct, Pam?
That is correct.
Okay.
And let me add also, you need to make sure that you have at least 6 months on it still left on the passport.
6 months, okay, that's right.
Yep, so it has to be. So
Okay.
if you're ready to go away and it's going to say within the time you're traveling, you only have 5 months on it, you need to renew your...
Yeah, renew it. And start renewing now, please, because everybody's going to realize that. And what's going to happen, if you go to the airport, they will not put you on the plane if your passport is expired. And if it's expired, if it's a weekend, you're going to have to wait till Monday morning to go to the passport office in Boston and try to get the passport that day if you can. And what's going to happen is that you're going to screw up your vacation and try to get the next flight out. And
Right.
You're not going to fly till you get your passport. So eliminate the problem as soon as possible. The other thing I'd like to say is that this is a passport card. I'm going to cover up all this stuff. But this is a passport card. And a passport card is if you live in the United States and you're going to Canada or Mexico, you can use a passport card. A lot of families are getting passport cards for their children and for identification, because it's the only identification. And if I remember, it's a 10-year thing,
just
and
like
it's
the-
only, just like a passport.
Yeah.
And it's only $40, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I believe. I
It
have
was
not
$30
seen
or
the fee.
$40. You can look it up,
Right,
whatever
because
it
I was
is.
just on it, only because I just renewed my daughter's passport
Okay,
just
yeah.
the other day. But
Did you renew? Do you get a passport card for
I
it
did
too?
not get it, no, because they were 18 or
Yeah,
over.
I
So,
know.
when they were younger and they
Yeah.
had it, I did it. But now that they're older, they have their license and all of that. so-
Also, if you need to get a real ID driver's license, that means you have to get your birth certificate, get your social security card, and some bills that go to your home, and go to the registry or AAA, and they'll handle the situation. It's very important. So,
Yes, it is.
Escape for Everyone. Tell me, how did you get involved in travel agency? It's out of your home.
It is out of my
Okay, good.
home.
So you don't have to pay any overhead.
No, no overhead, no brick and mortar
Do we
building.
do we have your email on?
I
think-
believe it is on the
okay,
screen.
it's on
It's
the screen, okay.
Pamela at escapesforeveryone.com.
.com. So
Pretty
that's
easy
pretty
to find.
easy, right?
I'm also on Facebook, and you
Okay.
can look it up pretty much the same way. Pamela
Right.
Quinlan Hall at Escapes for Everyone Travel.
Okay. How did you get involved in travel? I mean, how long have you been doing this, and why Escapes for Everyone? I think it's real important that now a lot of these travel agencies, because of the virus, COVID-19 has caused a problem. So tell us what's happening in that game in regards to the virus. Do you need your card, your shot card to travel?
You do. Well, it's been a tough year with COVID.
Right.
Very tough.
No doubt.
In the travel industry.
Right.
But in terms of when I started probably about 12, a little bit longer ago. But to be honest, on my own, I've always planned all my friends, all my family's trips.
Oh, okay.
I was always in education. That was my field.
Right.
I'm a math teacher and a guidance counselor by
Right.
trade. But I just have always loved planning trips. It's just been my passion. Doesn't matter where you go. You can be going to Iceland. You can be going to
Oh,
France.
that's a nice place.
you
I've
could-
been to Iceland.
Yeah, you could be going to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're going.
Yeah.
You just, Montana. But so this year has been very trying, and personally, I've traveled during COVID.
Oh, you have?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, twice I've traveled.
Where?
The first time was in December to St. Lucia, which is in the Caribbean.
Right, I know.
And the second one was to Antigua, which is also in the Caribbean.
Wow.
And, because I wanted to show my clients that you can travel, that there are procedures in place.
All right,
So it
let's
makes
talk
you
about
safe.
the procedures now, especially I want to go to Europe, let's say. What do I need to do? I know that I have my 2 shots, I have my record, I have my passport, it's up to date. So what do we need to do here?
Well, right now,
Pay for the ticket.
pay for your ticket, get all that. Honestly, every country right now, they really tend to be a little bit different. They're similar,
Right.
but a little bit different. The one, actually, Iceland, let me just use that as an example,
Okay.
only because I just booked somebody last night
Okay.
for that. And they're going in July. And as long as they have their immunization taken care of and they have
Right.
that card that proves it,
Right.
they are able to move, bring that information, go into the country, able to go in and leave the country very easily, still following the protocols. You have to
Right.
still go through, all the immigration. That you
And it's up to
normally
the
would.
nation that requires it. Just because you
Absolutely.
may say, well, I don't want to have the shot, it's up to them. If they don't want, if you don't have that, they're going to stop you at the border
Absolutely.
and send you home. And they have a right to do that.
They absolutely have a right. I mean, one of the things that when I flew to St. Lucia in December, I had to, very easy, but I had to fill out a form for the government and ask permission to fly to the country.
Sort of like a visa, is that? Not
Wasn't even,
really.
not even like a visa, because
Yeah,
I've done
but-
visas before,
yeah, right.
because my daughter's been to Vietnam and,
Right. Oh, is that right? Oh.
and South Korea and a lot of different
Okay.
places, and we've had to do the visas for that.
Right.
But no, it's just asking permission, saying that I will follow their regulations. And I want to tell you, it's probably 10 questions, very simple
Yeah.
and easy. You get a letter back from them, emailed, letting you know that you've been approved. And that was back before the vaccination. So you made sure that you had your PCR test
Yeah.
in hand that
Oh,
was
okay.
negative. Take that with you. The airport, you go through, the temperatures, all of that you have to do, get on the plane. Get off, get into the country, temperatures again, PCR, show them
okay.
all your stuff. And then coming home, same thing. But then for Antigua, that's when the rules were changing and you needed to leave countries with a negative PCR test as well. So before I left, I needed to get a second
I see.
test
Yes.
that came out negative. And most of the resorts will do the testing for you for free.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, so they
I mean,
have
yeah.
doctors and nurses
So
right on
get
hand.
on the phone and call Pamela and start getting
yeah.
down the
They're really
Caribbean.
making it.
Yeah.
They're making it so.
That's where their money is.
Absolutely,
It's their
they
bread and
want you
butter.
to come, and they
Right.
are the measures that they're taking, so that people can come down and visit.
Right.
They want you to come down.
Yeah.
They are following all the regulations. They do not want to slip up anywhere.
Yeah. So this is what I was told. If you're flying to Europe, fly nonstop. If you can, from New York or Newark or Philadelphia, go down to New York, fly down or drive down, whatever you want to do. Then take the nonstop flight to Zurich or Paris
Yeah.
or Athens or Istanbul, whatever. Don't get involved with stopping in Zurich and then going to
Right.
Rome or something like that.
Right.
Two stops.
Absolutely. I mean, I recommend that no matter what, even if you're
Okay.
flying within the country.
Oh.
I mean, and this is before COVID.
Yeah.
I just thought it just makes it easier. One stop, you're done.
Right.
But now with everything going on in the world, it absolutely makes so much more sense to when you pick your destination, really look for something that you can find a flight that is nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about then going through all the protocols again at another airport.
Right.
going through it, getting back on. It's just, it makes it that much more tedious. It's just another step.
Some flights from Boston are not stopped. It may be your destination.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you will have to go to New York and fly. It's better to stay in your country and fly out of JFK to Paris or Rome or Prague or whatever if you can get.
Right, and you'd be
nonstop.
surprised too, because there's also some flights from Rhode Island, from Providence, that may be nonstop that aren't from Boston.
Oh, I see.
I'm always amazed. And another spot sometimes is Hartford, Connecticut. So if you don't want to go all the way to New York,
Oh, out of Bradley.
out of Bradley.
Okay.
So I mean, there are a lot of different
Yeah.
options that we can play with.
Right,
But
right.
certainly that's
So
something
you would
that
have to drive down to Bradley and go from there, or
Right.
have somebody drive you down.
Right,
and
but
whatever.
there are a lot of like parking. I don't want to call them parking garages, but they're used to storing your cars, and it's
At a reasonable
at a
price.
very reasonable price,
I
because
see,
we
okay.
always our agency, Escapes for Everyone, usually will put a package together for you.
Oh, wow.
So that it's not the price that the public would pay. It's probably quite a bit cheaper.
So in other words, if you have to fly down the New York round trip, let's say you're coming from Rome, drive down to New York, get a hotel, right? They have parking. It's pretty safe. I'm
It's
sure
right
they
at-
have
it's-
cameras.
It is, and if you stay overnight, say if you do the hotel and stay overnight, you're parked right at that hotel. So they have spots right.
Right,
at-
and there's cameras there.
There's
I mean,
cameras
yeah.
there, and they check every so hours. They check
Oh.
the cars
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
they know
yeah,
where they
yeah,
are.
yeah,
It's
yeah. They
it's
have
a
the
set
license
spot
plate
for them.
and all that. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
No, see, that's something I did not
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So it would save you probably $500 or $600 for the flight from Boston to New York. It's either to drive to go to the hotel and in the morning
yes.
jump. You know what? When I was flying, I always gave myself 3 hours in New York City, because what happens is a lot of times you're delayed. The airspace in Europe is kind of touchy, and you're delayed. And I always gave myself 3 hours. And one time we were delayed 2 hours. I got in, got my flight, and everybody was in panic because they missed their flights.
Right.
And I always like to go to New York and have a hamburger and a Coke.
Absolutely,
You know
there's
what I
nothing wrong
mean?
with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
And that's the first
Yes.
thing I
Yeah.
get off the plane. I want my Coke and hamburger,
Yes.
and
Yep.
that's it.
Yep.
A good old hamburger, even though it's an airport hamburger.
Doesn't matter. It's still just
yeah,
settles you in.
Yeah, a good thing is to get a travel book to read where you want to go. Get it now. To Rome. I'm interested in Rome because I've never been to Rome, so get a travel book there. And I like to jump to another place from Rome, but I'm kind of leery
there's a
about
few.
it these days. So learn how to read a map. That's good. Money exchange. Euro is almost everywhere, except is Switzerland euro too? I don't think they're Swiss francs still.
No, I believe they didn't switch over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't,
trying-
I don't
no.
believe so. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
believe they did. So I would suggest get $200 or $300 in euros from your local bank
Right.
or AAA.
Yep, you can do that
I
as
learned
well.
the trick at AAA. They have a card, a Visa card. You can load it up with money, and instead of traveler's checks like I used to travel with traveler's
Absolutely.
checks, get the Visa card from AAA if you're a member, and get that now. Load it up. They have a code, and anytime you're buying, you just use it in Europe because everything's on the chip in Europe.
Right. And even if you're in a pinch, I found this out the hard way. My daughter was doing exchange over in Rome, actually, a few
Okay.
years back. At the malls, they have some of them. I certainly know the Burlington Mall has one.
Yeah, I know they do.
And there's it's just a person
kiosk,
with a.
yeah.
It's not even a. I don't even
Yeah.
know what it is. It's just like a little
Yeah, it's a
area.
kiosk, yeah.
And they will do all different foreign exchange.
Right.
Exchanges for you, and that was a lifesaver for us because the bank was supposed to do it for us, but I can't remember why they closed, but there was something wrong computer-wise, so we couldn't do it. So we had to go there sort of as an emergency step, and it was fantastic.
I mean, get euros and so forth. I probably have to go and look where my euros are because I know I bring some home.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then I
absolutely.
want to spend. But have euros because if you're going to grab a cab, you have to pay, or bus, you have to pay in euros.
Right.
So have,
Right.
before, always check in the exchange. I should be the travel agent, huh? Always check with the exchange what the exchange rate is. Some
Absolutely,
of them
before you
are
go.
higher, some of them are lower.
Right. And you don't forget, you can always, a lot of places where you're traveling, you can still use your credit card.
Yeah.
You can still definitely.
You can,
I
an
mean, you-
ATM.
ATMs, you can still use those. You're still able to get them, but it is nice to have the local currency because what if you want to tip? Some countries, depending where you go,
Yeah.
will take American money, but that's going to be more so if you're going down to the Caribbean.
Sometimes on the cards, they charge you for.
They do, and that's why
you have
that's
to be-
important to check with your card.
That's why it's good.
to make
It's good to get that AAA
It
card.
is, right. That's why it's always important
yeah.
to check before you go. And the other thing is with your phone service.
That's
When you're
right.
traveling, make sure you have some type of international phone service plan on yours. If not, a lot of the time, you'd be surprised, it's only $10 more for the month, and you could do it just for a month, and it's $10.
Good. That's good to know. That's another thing is that when you're traveling, is that you should also say, call up your credit card company and tell them what countries you're going to
Yep,
be in.
credit card company, your bank,
Your bank,
and your
yeah,
telephone.
That's
always.
right. Always call
Always
the
call them.
800 number and let them know because they will not transfer money, right?
Correct. They will think it's fraudulent charges, and they may shut down your card
Yeah.
or whatever it
Yeah,
might be, and you do not
exactly.
want that to happen.
Airline tickets on the phone now. Sometimes I don't have my phone with me; it's over there.
Yep.
Airline tickets are on the phone. That's legit.
Yes, if you have your confirmation on the phone and it has the barcode,
Okay.
you can use that and scan it right to the machine.
Okay. So you don't have written.
You don't have to have the
now,
paper
do
one.
you give written tickets out or?
Well, I can I can send an email and you can print it out, and that is technically a ticket. It doesn't look like, it's not the typical ticket
Yeah,
when you're
yeah,
looking
yeah,
at.
yeah, yeah.
It's a printed page.
Because it has a barcode on the
But it has
printed
as
page.
long as it has the
As
barcode on it,
yeah.
you can use that too. If you don't feel comfortable, because even as I've been doing this for years, and even
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a travel agent,
yeah.
I have it on my phone, but I still always have a folder with myself with everything printed.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Another thing is when passport again. Look for the expiration date again, but make sure you have a copy of your passport, a
Yes,
couple
very
of
important.
copies at different baggage, because if you lose your passport and it's a 6-hour difference, a 7-hour difference,
Right.
they may be up at the consulate, and make sure you have your passport number down.
Absolutely.
That's very important. I almost forgot about
Right.
that.
It's very important.
It's very important
Yes.
because the time frame when they're trying to contact to give you a new airport passport at the consulate or the embassy, yeah.
Right.
Make sure you know the consulate address, the phone number,
Right.
and the embassy number. Embassy is usually in the capital of the city.
Right, and those are the things that I would help provide my clients with
okay.
before they go. I mean, that's definitely part of, there's no extra charges for anything that we do. It's
Okay.
the price is just the price of your trip. There's nothing else that we wouldn't charge you for anything. That
Hotels?
you pay.
book hotels?
We book hotels. We book air. We book excursions. Anything that you want. If you cruises, tours, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
We do not add anything on. The price is the price is the price.
I think that what you should do when you're traveling is sort of go backwards from where you want to go. Let's say it's an island in the Caribbean. The ferries may not be working that day. The flights may not be working.
Right.
Maybe twice a week. So that kind of what's that reverse reverse? Whatever. Reverse.
I know what you're trying to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Deconstruction. It's like a deconstruction.
Yeah, go backwards.
Yeah, you're
and
deconstructing
see so everything will run smoothly
Right.
Before you get your flight from the United States to
Right.
Europe or wherever you're going. you know.
Right. And also, it's important too when you're planning a trip. There's a lot of things that you may want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Think about: do you want to enjoy the trip, or do you want to rush by all the things and say, "Oh, I saw that, I saw that, I saw that," but did you really enjoy the experience?
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Well,
I always enjoy the experience.
I do as well, but sometimes, you know, I know there are people that you want to fit everything in.
Yeah,
And
you
I
can't.
understand that, and I get why you want to fit it in, because you're thinking, well, I probably may not come back to this area again. But you also sometimes have to step back a little bit and say, you know, let's look at it and see how much time you have.
I think the misconception with the Americans is that they could see all of Europe. I always tell people, pick 3 countries that you want to see in the same area and go to those 3 countries or 4 countries. But you're not going to make it, if you only have 2 weeks, to see all of Europe.
No, oh,
That's not.
absolutely not.
That is not going to happen.
No.
Do you book your Real Pass?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, you can,
Oh, everything.
okay.
Yeah, I can book it. Yeah, you name it.
Explain what your Real Pass is real quick.
The Euro Pass,
Yeah,
I
Euro-
actually,
Euro Pass.
I still remember the very first one I booked. It was for me.
Oh, good. Wow.
Back in 1993.
Wow.
Yes. And so the Euro Pass, I mean, obviously it's evolved over the years, but the Euro Rail it's their railway system, and it can get you from inter-country, so it can be inter-country, but it also will get you to another country as well. So, for example, when I was using it, I used it from Paris down to the south of France. I also then went to Monaco, and then I also took it then up to northern Italy. So for me, for that particular trip, that's how I utilized it. But other people utilize it all different ways. I mean, it can get you through, you can travel throughout all of Europe with
And
it. It's
you know the
phenomenal.
rail system is fantastic in
It's
Europe.
very, very good.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
you just be patient if you don't know the language in the country. But there's always somebody that will speak
My
English.
strategy was always, is anybody here speak English? And with respect.
Right.
Right? And what happens is somebody will come forward and say,
Absolutely.
yeah, I speak English, what can I help you with?
Correct.
And so forth. But don't demand that they speak English.
Absolutely not. You should not.
You should never.
It's their country.
Yeah, that's right.
It's their country.
So show respect. A travel book would be helpful to read it before.
Yeah, I do. I mean, a lot of the times I'll do it, and you know, you can either do that or people will use the internet now. But it's nice if you like to have something tangible in your hands. And the other thing is, especially if you're going overseas and it's a different language, you can buy it very small, a language pocket dictionary, or on your phone.
Oh, you get it on your phone.
On
That's
your
right.
phone, it's
I don't
right
have my
there.
phone here, but
know.
it's on my
It's
phone.
right
It's called
on your phone.
Translate something or
Yes, there's so many different apps,
there's
and it's
apps.
wonderful.
Yeah. If you don't know a word like water or something, it will.
Right.
You can, from Arabic to English.
Absolutely.
It will be,
One of my
be
friends,
nice.
he's gone back.
And it will speak to you in Arabic and how to pronounce it.
Exactly, and it really helps.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, and it's definitely nice for you to try to mimic what's being said, because it just shows that you're trying to learn something about that culture, that country.
Exactly.
But if
Yeah,
I-
that's another
yeah.
thing. Learn religion, history, and geography and language of that country.
And the respect, absolutely.
You have a phone that has information on. I like to say, this is a passport. I don't know if you just tuned in, but look at it and see if your passport expired, right?
Yep.
If it's expired, you better start renew it right away, because a lot of people are going to look, realize, and so forth. They won't let you on a plane if it's expired. Pamela Quinn Hill has Escape for Everyone. Can I give out your cell number?
You can give out my cell
Okay.
number, sure.
It's 978-390-1887.
1887.
Yep. And if you want to plan a trip, plan it with Pamela. That's why we had her in here, because what about cruises? I forget about
I do
that.
cruises. I do.
You do?
Yeah, we do
Okay.
cruises.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Some of them are starting. Royal Caribbean is definitely starting them up.
In
as soon
Florida? Out of Florida?
Mostly out of L.A. right now.
LA?
There's some.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly out of L.A. right now.
All right, get your shot, get that card, because countries will not allow you to come into that country.
Right, they're
if
starting
you
to
don't.
be,
And they
I
have
think,
a
in the
right
fall.
to do that. Just because you have an American passport, it's not going to get you by. You know, am I right?
You are.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
I fist bump. Yeah,
you for
I
having
can't
me.
shake your hand.
I know.
And hope everything's going. I hope your trip to Mexico is a good one,
Thank you.
a healthy,